Hey, it's King Kaiju here, and Netflix is clearly in damage control over what will be The Witcher Season three's final season and worst season, without question. So, scrambling from the loss of their star, Henry Cavill, who had a variety of different reasons, in all honesty, why he left. The one that's most commonly being reported, the one that is the nice headline, especially amongst us fans, is the fact that he left during the second season as they were moving away from the canon of the books, the lore of the books, and the focus on Geralt, which is what the books and the video games and everything else was about, and instead going down the go woke, get broke road of focusing all on the badass women. I can at least say that The Witcher season 1 and season 2, being 1 mostly based on the book, 2 not so much, they hadn't yet fallen into Mary Sue territory, but they were definitely heading that direction. Nonetheless, what does Netflix gather for all of this? Oh, well, it must just be because we're going away from the lore and absolutely nothing else. So our solution? I know. We'll have the showrunner lie. And that's flat out what she did. So check this shit out. So right in the headline, the bullshit starts. After Henry Cavill exits series allegedly over issues with canon, Netflix The Witcher showrunner Lauren Hissrich claims upcoming third season is, quote, is the closest thing that we've done as a one-to-one adaptation of the books. You have got to be kidding me. But it gets worse. Basically, they state what I stated in my opening about the whole history of it. And then they get into the quotes. Now, they also reference, which is interesting, a previous quote by the showrunner, Hissrich, who basically stated in response to the negative reception of the second season that she was, quote, the strong, independent woman you're looking to blame. So, we're going to have to digress a moment here because that is the most passive-aggressive bullshit I've heard in a very long time. The bottom line is this. You were not blamed because you were a strong woman. You were blamed because you were a bad showrunner. It is very, very, very simple. So I don't care what the product is. If you establish product A, starring main character A and sub-characters B, C, and D, it is successful. Ergo, it is well written, it is interesting, it appeals to a broad audience. They latch on to the main character, wish to see what happens to the main character, see their struggles, see them overcome them, etc., etc. This is basic writing 101. And then what she did in the second season, you go, you know what? I'm going to take the focus off of A and put it on B, C, and D, okay? I'm not even getting into the books, the lore, anything. You fail because the people are interested in A. They have made it clear they are interested in A. And you're saying, no, I don't want you to be interested in A anymore. I want B, C, and D. Not because the plot demands it, but because politically correctness demands it, which is really going on behind the scenes. You're not disliked because you're a strong woman, disliked because you're a bad showrunner. But she has to double down, so here we go. So this kind of all came out of her being asked about Cavill's departure, and she goes into corporate speak. Henry has given so much to the show, and we want to honor that appropriately. I mean, not honor it enough to keep him employed, but, okay. So what is so interesting is that season 3 to me is the closest thing we've done as a one-to-one adaptation of the books. So that's where we get the title from. Obviously, we can't do every page, but Time of Contempt gave us so many big action events, plot points, defining character moments, huge reveals of a big bad. She added, there's so much to do that we were able to stick really, really closely with the books. Now, this is going to take a lot of unpacking because, my God, does she say a lot in this with so little. And what she's primarily saying is that I don't like books. I mean, look, that last line. There's so much to do that we were able to stick with the books. The implication is if there isn't so much to do, then we don't have to stick to the book. What is to do? And she told you. They're action sequences. Huge reveals of big bad and defining character moments, not character building, not moving plot forward, not plot points. See, they're all focused on one individual thing because they just want to rush to the end. That's it, right? I mean, the books have the ability, and so does actually good adaptations, to build characters over time, have them change, have them grow, have them evolve. They don't do it by rushing to the next plot point, rushing next to the back action sequence, rushing to the big bad reveal, rushing to the big defining character moment. Because you need the time. You need the progression. You need the build up for plot point, the character defining moment, the big action sequence, and the big bad reveal to mean anything whatsoever. Without those, you don't. And that's what these writers don't understand. But we're going to dig just a little bit deeper, so stick around. She just goes further into the rabbit hole, and she explains that Geralt's big turn is about giving up neutrality and doing anything that he has to do to get to Ciri. And to me, it's the most heroic send-off that we could have, even though it wasn't written to be that. Now, she's talking about Henry Cavill leaving the show, somehow unable to separate the character and the actor. She says, Geralt has a new mission in mind when we come back to him in season 4. He's a slightly different Geralt than we expected. Now, by the way, that's an understatement. So I'm guessing that this is a typo. I think she meant season 3. This is also, yet again, an attempt to alter and temper expectations. So he's different. Yeah, we know he's different. It's a different frickin' actor. Now, of course, she's trying to talk about he's a different character. Okay. Slightly different in a way that's not expected. Well, that's an understatement. So it's not slightly. It's really different. Here's the point. What was I just talking about? The rush. He ended season 2 here. And you're now telling me at season 3, he's going to open way the hell over here. And what I mean is, where was the progression? Where was the arc? Where did he grow, struggle, overcome, failed, succeeded to get to point B? There wasn't. We're just going to rush there because we had to recast the actor and we're bad writers. Quite honestly, there would be no problem thematically, structurally, artistically from having the new actor start 1 second after the last frame that Henry Cavill shot. There isn't. Same character, and then he continues. But we can't do that. We have to go in a whole different direction. Really, this further embeds the lie. Because, generally speaking, in most fiction that I've read, characters do not radically change between the end of book 2 and beginning of book 3, as an example, okay? They don't. Now, that isn't to say that they couldn't have something insanely traumatic and life-altering happen at the end of 2, and end of 3 is exploring them struggling with that, but that didn't happen at the end of The Witcher Season 2. So that's out. So again, this is why we will stick close to the book as we can, but we're radically changing Geralt exposes the lie for what it is. But the lying may not just be done yet. Here we go. They asked her about keeping on Henry Cavill as a producer or in a different role. And she said, we haven't even thought about that at this point. Yeah, you have. And you've decided no. That's what I said. They just keep. She then tops it all off with, we have plans to keep this going in various permutations. Before making reference to such Witcher spin-offs as The Blood Origin and the upcoming anime production Nightmare of the Wolf. I love the Mothership. I'm going to stick to it. But obviously, we have Blood Origin coming out. She ends with, well, almost ends. She adds one more thing. I hope that this doesn't end for a while. Yes, I would like to remain employed. So I think the possibilities are endless, and we'll see what's happened. So she ends it all with a lie, a plug for the spinoff, and the sincere hope that people keep buying into this crap so she stays employed. Can't fault her for the last one? Not in the least. Got to get that plug in, make the old Netflix exec happy. But it's the lies. It's the lies. Now, on the same note, real quick, I do not expect a showrunner to come out and say, nah, we got rid of Henry Cavill, and we got a new actor, and we're writing new stories, and it's going to be radically different than the book, so F you. No. Duh. That's stupid, right? Just keep your mouth shut. That's a nice option, you know? Now, once again, perhaps Netflix is telling her to say all these things. That's a real possibility, because they know they're in damage control. They know they had a money-making prospect, and now they don't. So they're scrambling. They're doing everything we can. No doubt they're telling cast and crew what to say and when to say it. I guess it's up to the individual whether they do or not, since obviously not everybody else is out there spewing the same BS, or at least spewing the same BS at a level that's getting coverage. But it's not that case, and she genuinely believes this. Is even more delusional than I thought, but I'm curious to know what you thought. So again, transition that right into the comment section below.